Hey friends, how's it going? It's Ken with Flowtricks. I have been sick. I'm actually still sick right now, but I wanted to get you a doubles tutorial because it's been a couple days. Um, I also had asked a couple days ago if you guys wanted to have any questions at all to ask away. I got one question, so I will cover that in a minute too. And it's been a crazy time, man. I just got sick, and then my son did a deal online and he got robbed. They took his money, they took his phone, and there's a whole nother story to that. I will cover that a little bit later, but it's been an insane week, that's for sure. There's a happy ending to that story at least. But I wanna get this out to you, and then I'm probably gonna relax for a little bit, just a little bit sick still. But what I wanted to go over today was doubles. So grab two nunchucks here. We're going to go over a new doubles technique. That's, well, it's going to be a combination. So we're going off the 3-beat weave. I'm going to assume you know how to do a 3-beat weave. If you don't, just remember, if you just want to work on holding your right hand straight, creating a circle to where your arms cross, and you're basically creating a circle, and then we're uncrossing, and then we're recrossing again. So if you just think that your hands are moving in opposite direction, or in the same direction, but in the opposite spacing until that your hands cross, and then you can move over and you're going to do the same thing, uncross and cross. This isn't the best example of a 3-beat, but it does give you the feel that needs to happen. Open, closed, the feel that needs to happen to create a 3-beat. What I'm going to show you here though is this is a very good strategy with doubles, and that's always, once you're doing this motion, if you want to change direction, you just need to bounce one chuck. Right now they are both going counterclockwise like so, right? So if you change directions, you actually change the whole, like all the different kinds of moves that you can do. For instance, if I change direction of one chuck, I no longer can do that weave anymore because one's going clockwise and one's going counterclockwise. So you have two different sets of moves. You have moves where the chucks are going in the same direction, and then you have moves where they go in opposite direction. If they go in opposite directions, you know, they have that like really sweet hand roll motion that you see. And there's a lot more other things that you can do as well, but you are not able to do that. Well, you can, it has a different flavor if you go the same direction. But there are some moves that you can't do, like the butterfly, for instance. They have to go in opposing directions for it to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of flip between the two with a very simple number 3 bounce. So as we're doing this motion here, what I'm going to do is I'm facing to the left right now and just doing a 3-beat. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my left hand far out as possible while my right hand scoops down, and it's going to do a number 3 bounce. So we're here, number 3 bounce, like that. Number 3 again is going to be underneath the tricep. So 1, 2, 3 is under, and then 4 is under on the opposite arm. So 1, 2, 3. It's going to be a number 3. So here, whoosh, number 3. Now what this does is this causes the chucks to be in opposite directions like that. This will give you different variety of motions. The most easiest thing you can do from there is if you do the bounce, you can kind of do this. You can kind of do this kind of motion here. This is a split time. We're not doing hand rolls with it right now. What we're doing right here is we're making a half moon across the body. So you see a half circle, whoosh. And then what's going to happen is it's almost like you're doing a figure 8 to the side like this. So we come up, but it's going to be behind our shoulder. So we come up and it's going to make one circle behind our shoulder, whoosh, like this, and it's going to dip down to our hip and it's going to make another circle. So it's circle, circle, and then it's going to pull to the front, swing up half circle. So as you can see, we're making two half circles. There's a half circle here, and then it does a full rotation. Half circle behind the back does a full rotation and back to the front. So whoosh, boom. Just try this now. Circle. So circle by the shoulders, pull it down, circle by the hip, pull it to the front, do a full swing, and as soon as it starts to come up, kind of make sure that you can kind of tuck it, whoosh, behind the back again. So your circles are always happening behind you. Circle, circle, whoosh, circle, circle. If you can do that, start with the other one as well. Circle, 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 circle. So now we have here, we're going to bounce it, and then you just see if you can do this for now. If you can do this, this is also something to think about. If you can do this, do it to the point where you don't think about it, and then see if you can start doing other things with your other chuck. Just start moving it around. It doesn't even have to be doing what you want it to do. What you're just trying to do is see if you can get your hands to move independently by creating that pattern. And same with the other one too. If I do circle, circle, up, circle, circle, up, that's one of the tricks with doubles. And I actually haven't done this technique, so it's looking a little bit funny. But that's the same thing with this with doubles is if you can get one hand to automatically do a pattern, then you can focus on the other hand. And the audience just sees all this mesmerizing stuff. It's the same like if your hand does figure eight wrist rolls here. If I do something with the right hand, it doesn't matter what it is, it's going to look really interesting. But what I'm doing here is one hand is in automatic mode, so I have to think about it, but only minimally. So I'm focusing on the other hand. And it's going to be the same with these circles as well. If you can detach yourself from that motion, then all of a sudden you can start doing other things with your other hand while it follows that pattern. This is with just about any double nunchuck move that you can think of, but it takes training for every single one of them. It's kind of like people that play guitar and sing simultaneously. It's like playing guitar is hard, singing is hard, and when you do them together, it's even harder, but if you can simultaneously do that, you have an advantage. So here, boom, and then we start doing these rolls. Now, when this is at the top and it's coming down, this one's coming up. That's how you can think of it. So then it comes up, and you'll notice that they're going to do a circle. See what I'm saying though? As this moves up, you're making the circle behind your back. This one's doing behind the hip, and they're doing that opposite direction, and that's what gives you this split time pattern. And again, they're both making their circles at the same time, but they're connecting. As soon as they connect, they're rotating at opposite points. So you can go like that, boom, over, over. Now what we're going to try to do is something a little bit different. We're going to go like here. We're going to go boom. But this time, I'm going to keep my hands straight forward like this. So here, straight forward. And this is going to want it to cause to, like, you know, how we've done this before. But this time what we're going to do is we're going to try to launch it underneath our arm. That's straight forward. The easiest way to practice this move first is to hold out your chuck like this and don't do anything with it. Do a number 3 bounce and see if you can get it to clear underneath the arm like this. The moment that the chuck is slightly past the left hand, you're going to pull back and open up your hand. So pull back, open up your hand. And what you're going to try to do is get the chuck to fly towards your other hand. Now, if you give too hard of a pullback like I just did, it's going to fly very sideways. It's going to go really sideways the more you give it a pullback. Also, another thing that will make it really sensitive is the higher up you grab it, the more sensitive that pullback will be. So if you need to lessen it, try grabbing in the center, and you'll actually find you might have a little bit more control with it. So now we're going to go here, here, and see if you can now spin the chuck instead of holding it straight and then get it under. Now, when you spin it, that also means you have to be careful that you don't crash it into the chuck. So as you're throwing it, if you throw it at an angle, it's gonna hit the other chuck and they're gonna tangle. So you want to make sure that it flies very straight. So if it's here, it's going straight forward. I'm shooting it in a line down, further down in the arm, so they don't touch. And so now we're here, whoosh, and grab and catch. And the moment we catch, now this is not an easy move, of course, and you can move your arms to adjust it. But the moment you catch, see if you can do it with the other arm now. What we're going to do is we're just going to swing it under, and we're going to try the same thing just underneath like that and catch. And what you see is you have this infinite combo of throws that you can do simply by that. Now, if you're stuck here and you don't know what to do, all you have to do is bounce one of these chucks. It can be a 1, 2, 3, or 4. It can be off your knee. Just don't do it off your face. You know, it can be like here and under, and then all of a sudden we're back. It changes us back into the same time, which will allow us to go back to the weaves. So you're weaving, bounce, you can throw it. Awesome. We can bounce it again and go back to the weaves again. So that's a little trick. There's a lot more to it, of course, but that is a really fantastic trick to know. I've shown a little out of breath. I've shown several different things that you can do. Key points to remember for this video is if you can do it with one hand without thinking about it, then your other hand can focus on doing cool stuff. So no matter what the move is, left or right, no matter what the hand is, practice it, and as soon as you get really good at it, keep doing it and do mundane small things with the other hand until you can grow it bigger and you can make it move completely independent. So the left hand is doing the same pattern and the right hand is being independent. And then all of a sudden you will have so many more moves. It'll look versatile and it'll look awesome because double chucks, there's so much happening simultaneously. You know, crowds think it's fantastic. So anyways, I hope this helps. I always feel bad when I'm a little bit late on my Patreon video, so I wanted to get it out there, but I have been sick, and I think I'm just gonna relax for the rest of the day. Life is good again. Like I said, Seth went through some crazy stuff on his birthday. He probably had one of the worst birthday days of his life, but we were able to make it up, and I will talk about that on a future video. But take care, everyone, and talk to y'all soon.